They want you to get used to seeing these masked people, because when they have these masked people in front of polling locations and brown people go out there to the polls, and they can do one of two things: scare brown people from not going to the polls, or when some go to the polls, put them down on the ground under. The Supreme Court has given them permission to do profiling, color profiling. The Supreme Court has given them, the opportunity to do that. The funny thing about that is, talking about people voting, illegal folk or undocumented folk voting is a joke. The last thing undocumented folks want to do is to be found anywhere close to where their identities must be revealed. That's the insanity and the silliness of thinking that we have undocumented people voting in mass. It is such a, anybody who believes that, they're defying your intelligence. If you believe that, they have made you dumb. Because the last thing people that are here undocumented want to do is show their faces into places where they can be caught. We have to start learning some humanity in these people who enforce the laws. Because again, the enforcers of the laws in this country put a penalty on hue, which means those of particular hues can be treated a certain way. Today is Hispanic Heritage Day at my daughter's school, and this morning I got up and I was Mayana was a bit worried because I checked in late doing all our mic checks, etc., because I was helping my daughter put her pollera. For Panamanians out there, yes, my daughter is going to school with her pollera. The pollera is the dress that we use in Panama. It's a very colorful, flowery dress with sort of beads in your hair, etc. And she's now a teacher in middle school, and we're doing the Hispanic Heritage Day. And in doing all of that and putting all this, I saw she's beautiful with this dress on. It's a Panamanian thing on, and I'm just looking at how beautiful she looks. And then I said, "Wow! Suppose it's the day that I stands in front of that school. Are they going to try to throw down my daughter who's paralyzed on the left side and harm my daughter? What would I do then?" Because her school is heavily Latino, right? So I am thinking she's putting her dress on. I hope this isn't the day those thugs decide to come out there and mess with people. I sure hope so. But the thing is, I want my white brothers and sisters that are listening right now. My daughter is a born American citizen. There are a lot of those Latinos that are in her school, born American citizens. And you never have to sit back and think, if when that eye sees you, if they're likely to hold you down, throw you to the floor, bust your face up on the ground as they throw you down. But every one of those kids, I guarantee you, their parents told them, remember, be on your best behavior, be on the lookout, and so much special instructions that they are going to carry on their shoulders to go to school every day until the thuggery, the evil that we have administered in this country is no more. Empathy. All of you that are listening to me, I want you to empathize, from kids right up to adults going to work, doing their jobs right now. Think about the instructions the kids had to receive from their parents. Look, I've been giving my daughter instructions from the time that she was leaving this house and being out there alone. And this part had very little to do with immigration. In this case, this had to do with her hue in Kingwood, and letting her know that her behavior had to be different. I've been telling her that from the time she was 5 years old. Think about not having those burdens and how much freer it makes you and how much less unfree it makes others. I want all of you here to think about those things. These things are real. These things are real. Cheryl Elkin says, long quote, but relevant. Mass propaganda discovered that its audience was ready at all times to believe the worst, no matter how absurd, and did not particularly object to being deceived because it held every statement to be a lie anyhow. The totalitarian mass leader based their propaganda on the correct psychological assumption that under such conditions one could make people believe the most fantastic statements one day and trust it the next day they were given irrefutable proof of their falsehood. They would take refuge in cynicism. Instead of deserting the leaders who had lied to them, they would protest that they had known all along the statement was a lie and would admire the leaders for their superior tactical cleverness. Hannah Arendt, The Origins of Totalitarianism, 1951. Thank you for that quote, Cheryl Elkin. Kimmy Wynn, welcome aboard, and I love you too, my dear. We have come to such a dark time, says Kimmy Wynn. Kimmy Wynn, we're at dark times, but it's up to us to change it, and we can. And that is one of the most... I wrote an article on Sunday, and I sent it out to my 22,000 people who actually get my newsletter. And I said, despair is not acceptable. Feeling bad is not acceptable. Demanding democracy is what's necessary. Demanding democracy peacefully, we can still get this done peacefully. Because those people in the military, those people in the police forces, they are you. They're your brothers, your sisters, your neighbors. They have to understand that what they're doing on the outside also is what others would do to you. And it's a matter of getting involved, staying involved. If you keep allowing this slow slide, it's not only about the physical harm being done to the undocumented, it's also the economic harm that's being done to you. All of our country's problems, from polarization to ignorance on domestic and international issues to a complete misunderstanding of our economic and healthcare systems, are a direct result of a derelict mainstream media that too often bend over backwards to support corporate or bought politicians' wants as opposed to the people's needs for real information to make their lives better. Independent media is the only solution to inform truthfully and factually. Why? Because our loyalties are to you, the ones who fund us with small dollar contributions and subscriptions. Please consider supporting our independent media platforms by subscribing to our Egberto Off the Record newsletter at politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. Again, that is politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. It's an investment that pays incalculable dividends.